Thursday, Lexington Utilities Building, 180 Maple Street, 6 o'clock. Madam Secretary, you will call the roll, please.
Fred Ellis. Roger Lofton.
Here.
Tim Rhodes.
Here.
Jimmy White.
Here.
Gordon Wildridge.
Here.
Gabe Williams. Sandra Williams.
Everybody here, just everybody for the audience, if you have a cell phone, I'd ask that you put it on mute. If you get a call, I'd ask that you take it out in the hall and not in here. I will remind everybody in the audience too that this is a call meeting, that all we will discuss tonight is what is on the agenda and nothing else. Comments will be at the end, and you must hold your comments in line with what was discussed tonight and not another matter. All right, number 4, discuss approve cash management policy. Come to the podium.
First off, all of you should have received a updated cash management policy,
It's the long page.
the legal size. There's a highlighted sentence at the very end. We submitted the draft proposal to the comptroller's office, and they sent it back today with this one last revision that they recommended. That being said, you have before you the cash management policy as recommended by the comptroller's office to comply with the Tennessee Board of Utility Regulation order. If you have any questions, I would field those.
I even brought a copy of that letter from the board. It's on to you. I know you got it at the last regular meeting, I think the April meeting, I've got it here.
So what does this mean? I know what it means, but like what we discussed.
You're talking about the highlighted sentence?
Yes. Like for the utilities.
Yes. Making sure that you have enough unassigned fund balance or unrestricted cash reserves on hand.
And is that laid out somewhere what that amount should be?
Has to be a positive amount. The exact amount they do not have listed. And I think that's why they wanted that left kind of open-ended.
So it can be $1.
It's got to be positive. I mean, if we have negative unrestricted fund balance or negative unrestricted cash reserve of $1, you still fall under the Tennessee Board of Utility Regulation guidelines.
But that has to exceed more than 1 year.
Say that again.
That has to exceed more than 1 year.
What has to exceed 1 year?
That if you have a negative balance, if you're positive.
That was the old rule.
Huh?
That was the old rule.
So what's your rule?
In 2023, they changed it to just 1, and that's why we received that order.
It's got to be positive every year.
Yes. So no more.
Now, there you go again. How do you know then you're going to be positive at the end of the year when you set the rate at the beginning of the year?
You just have to watch your budget throughout the year.
So you have to adjust on the fly?
Adjust.
You have to adjust on the fly. So
Adjust
if you
what?
know you're going to end up negative on April the 2nd, and it's going to close out on June, so you have to adjust to be sure you go up.
That'd be up to the board.
No, what I'm asking about what's about the board, I said, is that what they're saying and what you're telling us?
They don't care how it's accomplished. They want you to be positive at your end.
So what you're saying is us as a board will have to decide what to do to be above, to stay positive all the time. But you really don't know the numbers until you get to the end of the year.
Yes.
So that's a crapshoot. So I don't see how somebody could say that you can do it not knowing, unless you had all of that information in January to know you're not going to finish in a negative.
I thought the previous ruling was a little easier to manage because if you had one negative year, you're correct the next year.
That's exactly right.
But
Nobody can foresee that far down the road. You could have a tornado, you could have stuff come through that's not manageable, and you gotta go in now and raise just to cover 3 months to get back positive.
In prior to 23, it only applied to water systems. Now they've generalized that definition to utility systems. So now the gas system is included.
Mr. Ted?
Yes.
All right.
She basically said a budget, and if we do something that is outside the budget, we have to approve it at that time. So if they spend money that's not in the budget for the year.
Let's back up. I'm not talking about what's in the budget. I told you you set the budget to whatever the budget is. You know what that's gonna end up, because if you go with the budget every month, it's exactly what it is. Something happens, okay?
That's what we have to approve, is what I'm saying. If
Okay,
something
but
happens,
what-
we'd have to do
Yeah.
a
But
budget
my
revision.
question is, well, I guess my question is, how can you foresee, because you will really not know what that number is, if it occurs 2 to 3 months prior to the end of the budget, is what I'm trying to say.
Something above the
So
dollar.
you could end up in it, all of a sudden you gotta do a windfall or something at the end of the year just to bring it out of the red. That's my question, how does anybody have that, see in the future they can do that?
You just can't spend money that's not in the budget unless you do a budget amendment, which is the board approval.
I'm just asking a simple question here. I mean, they dictate a lot of something up there, bull, what I call it. You call it anything you want, but it's bull. And what it is, you can't go 2 years, 1 year and say at the end of the year it's gonna be positive every year. That ain't the way it works. What you say is if you're negative, next year you adjust on the fly and do it. I totally get that. But this, by whoever voted to pass this, y'all should have been run out of the house up there, what y'all been doing. This is not treating anybody fair in what they've done right here. And I know what the objective is, they want everybody to be cash positive all the time, they don't want to be in debt all the time. But guess what? Everybody ain't got billions of dollars like the state's got and keeps what we got. We don't have that. So I don't see how this can foresee or foretell what's really gonna happen in the future is what I'm afraid.
So this supersedes the policy where it said 20% or 60 days.
This doesn't supersede anything. This just requires us to follow whatever the comptroller's office standard best practice is at that time.
So is the policy that we discussed previous meeting of the 20% or the 60 days, is it still in effect also?
I mean, nothing's been adopted, but what was Jim's recommendation for unrestricted cash reserves?
Well, he said 20% was the minimum, but he said, he recommended more than that.
20% or 60 days,
He said 6 months is what he said.
6 months? Okay.
He said we were 60 days now, right?
No, we're 45 days.
45.
Again, that's an unrestricted cash. If you look at the cash balances, looks like there's quite a bit of cash, but you've got a lot of restricted cash for reserved for projects or for the tank maintenance or for the technology fees. So it's not like we have no cash. It's just an amount that's not restricted for something else.
So I guess to Gordon's point, how do we achieve this?
I mean, it's not going to happen in a month's time.
I got one other question. At the top of the page, it says a resolution number, and it's got an asterisk or semicolon, which is no number behind it.
We don't number these until they're approved by the board.
So then what does it say through the adoption of resolution 2 or 201-303? So is that what the number 6 still at the top of this one?
No, that's just referencing in the enabling language that the board had previously adopted an internal controls policy. Because if you read on down further in the cash handling, section 5, and then also in the section 10, internal controls, there's not a lot of detailed information in those two sections. That's because there's a lot more information relative to cash handling and deposits in our internal controls policy.
So this is just a general resolution.
Yes. And believe it or not, the examples that MTS had sent us for review were shorter than this.
And the comptroller is the one that wanted number 12.
Yes.
said for utilities, so this does not include general fund, or it does?
This is all funds. Now, the requirement that you can't have an unrestricted net position in any given year or negative unrestricted cash reserves, that is something that's strictly tied to utilities. What was your question?
I thought it was, the funds for, the general fund is not included in this, but it
Yes.
reads like it is,
This would be a cash management policy for all funds.
for all funds.
Yes.
But the funds only matter to the water and gas and sewer, what they're looking at.
As far
right?
as Tennessee Board of
What
Utility
Tennessee's
Regulation,
looking at.
yes.
Right. So we're incorporating everything into this one thing that I don't think they expect us to do, right? I mean, they just want the gas, water, and sewer
They
set up.
have reviewed this resolution, and the
Uh-huh.
only thing they want to change was section 12.
Two, back to us heading in the right direction, I'm like you, they're not gonna expect us to change this in a month or even the first year. If we're moving in the wrong direction in a year's time, and, you know, they're gonna throw this at us, that's to me what it says. So you have a policy, and if we're heading, we're not gonna necessarily make that in month one or even year one, but if we're heading in that direction to get there, that gives us a good comeback to them if they questions. But if we don't, we put this in policy and ignore it and don't make strides to that, then we're probably gonna have a problem.
They will work with you if you're making good faith efforts.
Yeah.
If you're not, they're gonna come after you even harder.
Then what are they gonna do? Huh? If we don't have.
It's
an
always
extra year.
open-ended.
Yeah, that's what I mean, you know. We go through the end of this year, and we'll give you another chance.
I mean, you're not required to have a
Like-
cash management policy,
I know.
but it was in their order, it was strongly recommended.
Right.
Who determines what is a good faith estimate?
Good faith effort.
Effort.
It's subjective. It's just like, it's detailed in the order. It says the only requirement was to keep them updated between now and September. September.
If we're at 45 days now, we go down to 15 or 30 days, that's not good. If we go to 45 days to 55 days, that's not where they want us to be, but that's heading in the right direction.
I'll entertain a motion, or no motion. Whatever's up to the board. I think you're supposed to report back to them one way or the other, correct?
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Approve? I have a motion to approve. I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. All right, any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Brad Ellis.
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
No.
Jimmy White.
No.
Gordon Wildridge.
No.
Gabe Williams.
Yes.
Sandra Williams.
All right, number 5, discuss approved purchasing policy, Cody.
Start on page 4, is revised purchasing policy. Previously, our purchasing policy had just been adopted and then amended by resolution until the latest revision where the sealed bid threshold was up to $25,000, and that was done by ordinance. We also need to adopt this purchasing policy by ordinance. There are a few minor changes within this purchasing policy, though. A few more definitions were added, such as more clearly defining what emergency is. Capital items, and cleaning up the procedures for purchases of less than the sealed bid threshold, such as the $10,000 to $25,000. And then also incorporating a section for Title VI. All of our notices inviting bids need to include our Title VI policy. We also added a Section 9 for purchase cards, or some refer to those as P cards. It's getting harder, especially for travel. Hotels are not accepting checks as well. We have very few credit cards throughout the city. Don't like to use credit cards, period. Most places are not allowing a non-card holder to utilize that card. We've been working with First Bank Treasury on some processes for establishing purchase cards. And they really allow for a lot more internal controls to be added. Those are probably the biggest changes made in this updated purchasing policy.
This policy is pretty much verbatim with the state, and I know that because I do all their purchasing in agriculture and forestry, so the key cards are pretty much, it's all the same. The bids, it's all the same. I make a motion to approve.
Discussion.
Section 10, what would an example of emergency purchase be?
That's defined in the emergency section under the definitions. An emergency is not poor planning and someone needs something. A purchase is made in response to unforeseen circumstances beyond the control of the city, which presents a real, immediate, and material threat to the public interest or property of the city.
And does that not have a limit on it either?
It does not. Would you like for us to put a limit on emergency?
Well, I'm just saying that it would come to the judgment of the city recorder, department head, and mayor, and that's it. And then when, after it was done, then it would come before the board, but
Something breaks down, you gotta have it. If it's $200,000, you still gotta have it.
We can list whoever y'all want. It's,
if it's $200,000, you better know how you're gonna pay for it.
and I will note while you're on that, the prior policy did not include the mayor. I thought it'd be good that the mayor weigh in on emergency purchases. He already does anyhow, but making sure it's included in the policy.
Any more discussion? I've got a motion and a second. Any more questions, discussion? Call roll, please.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
No.
Jimmy White.
Yes.
Gordon Wildridge.
Yes.
Gabe Williams.
I'm going to abstain because First Bank's involved.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Fred Ellis.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, number 6, discuss FY 2025-2026 budgets. You got a lot of papers in front of you. We're not here tonight to go over the budgets. The charter says that the mayor, no later than 45 days prior to the beginning of the fiscal year, present a budget to the board, and that's what I'm doing tonight, is you have all the budgets in front of you. The only budget meetings we're gonna have this year are 2, and those are the normal nights that we have a board meeting. The first board meeting will be Tuesday, May the 27th, that's our one for this month, that'll be the first reading of the budgets. We'll meet, in June 23rd, that'll be the second reading, that'll be the only budget meetings we have. If you'll pull out the big budget, I will go over some stuff before I turn the meeting on the big one, and I'll give you a little budget right there. You'll go to page 9. Page 9. What I'm presenting y'all tonight on the general fund budget, and that's the only budget that I have to present per the charter, is no tax increase and no raises. The rainy day will stay the same at $979,485. Unassigned fund balance is $6,062,398. The budget will meet our fund balance policy, the requirement of 2.5 million. It's it's actually $2,504,932.90. We'll meet that policy. We probably have around 165,000, somewhere give or take a little bit, of this surplus over from this budget. I just put that in unassigned fund balance is where I would put that. If you go back to page 14, you don't, and I'll just go through this back. Page 14 is where the property tax collection page. Page 15 is sales tax. Page 16 is budget debt payments. Page 17, 21 through 21 is capital improvements. And if you look on some of the capital improvements in page 22 and 27 on CRP, which is capital equipment, in orange is where the department heads asked for capital projects, and I did not put them in the budget. And so what I would like for y'all to do is, you've got a week and a half. I'd like for y'all to reach out and talk to the department heads about the budget, go through the budget, come to City Hall, talk to me and Cody, and go over it. We'll be more than glad to go over it with you. There's one other thing, I want you to go to page 8 that I want to explain to you. Because y'all are sharp, and I know you'll catch this. If you look, go down towards the bottom where it says total expenditures, and you'll see 12,587,477. And then go out to the side, and it's 10,465,089. And you'll sit there and say, well, you budgeted for this, but you're short that. How did you over budget that much? It's not over budget. What it is, if you go up to community development, up towards the top, and go over to the middle and come down, you'll see like 2.2 million. Those are projects that's not been done yet. Sidewalks, things that were delayed for different reasons. Again, come and see us at City Hall. We'd be more than glad Cody will go over each project, show you. So we didn't over budget that much. It's just things that we budgeted for, it's not there. If you'll drop down to the bottom and see where it says transfer out capital projects fund, there's 295,818. There's 2 projects that the money was moved to capital projects to match a sidewalk. Cody, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the fire department is a FEMA deal. And that money will only be used if those grants are awarded. Am I not telling that correct? Correct. So if we don't get the grant, it won't matter. So if you see those 2 things on that page, I just wanted you to be mindful on that again. Again, I'm proposing a balanced budget with no tax increase and no raises in this budget. No COLA, no raises. All right, now, that's the only budget I'm responsible for. The other budgets in front of you is solid waste, LES, broadband, water, wastewater, and gas. The department heads come up with their own budgets. I know that they've talked to me, we've met. The solid waste has the COLA and the steps. LES just has the COLA and theirs. Broadband just COLA. Water, wastewater is COLA with steps. And gas has COLA and the steps. The school budget, we've talked to the school. They'll have their budget ready by May the 20th, and that would put them in line for us to do our budget on May the 27th on the first reading. And look, y'all know the first reading is the first reading, and you have time to go back and tweak. So if y'all like me, I don't want something put in front of me that night and have to make a decision and go over it. But take these home with you and go over it. If you have questions, if you want to talk to the department heads about what was taken out that they're not happy with me with, talk to them and see. If it's in the general fund, I will say this. If you start adding to it, you're either going to have to take it out of the rainy day fund or you'll have to raise people's taxes. But that's y'all and that's not me. So that'll be up to y'all. But I do, before I go to the audience, I do have one person in the audience that asked to be here to talk about the budget with a request. And I will say, Mr. Chris Danger came by and talked to me about Hope Ministries, his request. I do have that in here, and I think we can take care of Mr. Chris. But there again, I can't tell him that after we approve budgets, and he understands that as well.
Is it in this budget yet?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it should be enough in there to cover that. And that's the only other request, and you're gonna get a request in just a second when I go to comment.
I just got one. I remember years ago, before there was a liquor store in town, and Sue
talking about actually the drinks, not the packaged store, but the
Yeah.
drinks.
Yeah, and come on, well, that's not what I got right now. What I got right now is I'm looking on this first page, and I won't tell you the truth, I have to get glasses here. 33, well, anyway, a marijuana fund, $19,000.
I see that right now. Cody or Jeff, can y'all?
That'd be Jeff. Yeah, that'd be Jeff.
Not that Jeff, not this Jeff.
What that is funding for the state, from the state to pay overtime for specific types of investigations. If you'll also see on there, you'll see an opioid, you'll see a methamphetamine. It's funding that the state provides us. If we're conducting investigations relative to that, if we generate overtime, then it'll reimburse that overtime. But it's specific to.
I thought we were generating funds somehow.
It's a net impact on the budget. We bill that overtime out if it's an investigation relative to that specific. It's federal pass-through money.
It just kind of
I understand.
figure that out.
Can I ask a question to the department?
You can.
For Cody, can I get a digital copy like before, or I can actually look at it and see it better? And for the department heads, can you make an alternate budget that does not include any COLA cost of living raises to save us time from having to try to, like, in this budget here, LES, there's no way to figure out how much it is. So the budget that has these pay raises in it, COLAs, and then it should be pretty easy to just take that out and send another copy. Well, any kind of pay increase, whether it's COLA, steps, just
One of the steps is the salary survey.
a budget with it, like y'all gave us, and a budget without it, where we can compare. It's gonna say the board discussions.
You want those electronically as well?
Yeah, I do. I don't know about anybody else, but it would be just as easy, just email it. But if I'm thinking right, you should just be able to go in and delete that one line and just send the same budget minus that.
Okay. The department heads, y'all understand what Alderman Ellis asked y'all. He's got your budget like he has, but he wants it without COLAs and if steps apply.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Everybody understand?
You getting an email with that?
You want it in email?
Well,
These are real.
something
Yeah.
I can't see.
Yeah, that's why I asked for a digital copy.
Yeah, all of
Just,
it.
hey, just email the whole board.
I can't read that at all. With that.
That's a lot of email I know, but I can't read it.
I sure will use it. All right, so y'all heard the request, we'll go there. So that's all I've got on budget. Y'all got it. Come see us, come see the department heads. I'm gonna go to 7 citizens' comments. JD, I'm gonna start with you because I know that you had a request that you were talking about.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
JD, I run West Tennessee Dive Rescue and Recovery. We started about 12 years ago. We have 10 divers. We're on all the water scenes, especially when a body's involved. Y'all have, last year or two, I don't know exactly how long, been giving $2,500 to the rescue squad. For you that don't know it, the rescue squad is going into the fire department. They'll be part of the fire department from now on. It won't be a rescue squad. And I would want to ask y'all to consider giving the $2,500 to the dive team to help take care of the lake. That's my request.
Okay, all right. And they'll consider, it. I'll make sure and talk to them about it too. It's the 25 that's currently in the budget for rescue squad. They're going to the county fire chief. We talked about that today. That is correct.
Henderson County Fire Department absorbed.
And they'll have their own station too, is that right? Or
Well, they're gonna take that station that's right behind Station 3. Right, it's the
So
same.
it's already in the budget, just change the name.
Just change the name.
change
That's all
the
you have
name
to
to
do.
West
There's no chance they ask us for that, is there?
The county government, they may ask, but they're falling under that umbrella now.
And to let y'all know, we're a nonprofit agency also. And it costs us about, for the time we train a diver and buy the gear, it's about $5,000 a person.
Jay, I'll bring it up when we have our both meetings, I'll bring it up. Okay?
Thank you.
We'll do that, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody in the audience like to address the board? If And again, it has to be pertaining to what's on the agenda. All right, we're adjourned.